Hey guys, welcome to Smack Talk Wrestling Reviews. I am your host, Boise, and this is SmackDown Live Review. We have a pretty much an interesting episode, so let's get on with it. Let's hit the music. So we started off the show with the former tag team champions, the New Day, and they pretty much had a message for the new SmackDown tag team champions, the Bar, and their new BFF, the Big Show, that Kofi Kingston's going to take one of them on tonight. Doesn't matter if it's Sheamus, Cesaro, or the Big Show, he's going to take on one of them. They answer the call, all three men walk down to the ring, and it looks like it's going to be Sheamus taking on Kofi. Then Sheamus goes, no. Cesaro gets in the ring. He goes, no. Finally, the Big Show gets in the ring. And it was a quite, I'm going to be brutally honest, a limited type of match. What I mean is, the Big Show's quite limited on what he can do. So, for this kind of match, it kind of showed a little bit what limits the Big Show has right now. He's a bit ring rusted, and that's fine. He's been out of action for quite a while, but his mobility, he just seemed a bit slow, and that's, you know, I think that's because he's had more operations on his hips and stuff like that, which for a guy his size makes sense. He's going to slow down, but the match really did add a little bit more fire to what we've been just told last night, their Crown Jewel Tag Team Championship rematch, where the New Day will take on the Bar for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships, which is fine. I think that's a good way to add it to the pay-per-view if the pay-per-view does go along, but I think this rivalry is a good rivalry to have right now. The Big Show adds something to, you know, to the whole chemistry as well. Why is the Big Show teaming up with the Bar is a big question, and it is a good opening segment. The match ended when the New Day and the Bar got involved, which was kind of good because it was a quick match. But it did show Big Show choke slamming Kofi Kingston, which just shows the power of the Big Show, which I think was quite good. They really did put a lot of focus on Big Show choke slamming Kofi over and over and over. Vinny did it to Big E, and he also did it to Xavier Woods. So this just shows Big Show might not be as fast as he used to be, but he's still a powerhouse. And I think this could be quite interesting for their rivalry going into the Crown Jewel pay-per-view. So for me, I'm going to give this opening segment a decent 7 out of 10. The next match we got was the Usos taking on AJ Styles and Daniel Bryan in a rematch from last week's SmackDown 1000 episode. First thing first, I thought this was quite... The Usos kept on doing this in reference to their cousin, Roman Reigns, so they, you know, there was a lot of people, you know, chanting "Thank you, Roman" while they were wrestling, which I thought was a nice little touch. But I thought this was quite good. I think this was it definitely had more time than it did last week, which made it feel a lot better than what we got last week, which is good. And it just adds a little bit more fire to the Daniel Bryan and AJ Styles match going at Crown Jewel as well, because yet again both men got in each other's way and they cost each other the match, which is good for the Usos. I think the Usos definitely need to win these type of matches because, let's be honest, AJ Styles and Daniel Bryan are singles competitors while the Usos are tag team specialists. So for me, it just made perfect sense that the Usos would win yet again because they are a team. They're a tag team. That's what they specialise in. And they are... But the match itself was really good. It was a really good, in my opinion, television match. Where it's not really going to do up for the Usos. And that's a shame because they do... It's, again, adding more momentum for them. But right now, you got the New Day and the Bar battling out for the tag team belts. So is this kind of saying that the Usos definitely deserve to be in that Crown Jewel match? I think they should. I think personally they should be in that because I think it would add a little bit extra spice between all three teams, because I think the Usos would add an extra layer to the match. But we'll have to see after Crown Jewel how they evolve on that. But yeah, definitely tension started building after the match between Daniel Bryan and AJ Styles. Daniel kept on doing the Pinocchio thing, which I thought was a bit lame until he started, when he went like that. He goes, oh, it's too sweet, innit, brother? And AJ just walks away angry and annoyed that Daniel Bryan, one, thought AJ was lying, and two, that he thought AJ attacked him on purpose after last week. For me, it's good to finally see a bit of fire getting between the two of them. You can have both baby faces not like each other. They don't need to like each other to both be good guys. It's just, this could really add an extra layer. Again, I keep saying layers, but it can add extra amount of material for their feud leading up to Crown Jewel. So for me, I'm going to give this an 8 out of 10 because the match was really decent as well. Next up, we had a little bit of a video package promo, but it wasn't. It was just showing what happened last week during Charlotte Flair's speech at the Performance Center for WWE. She went to speak to some of the NXT superstars, talking about her time in NXT, saying this is foundations and stuff. It was a really interesting, it sounded like a very good speech. You know, Charlotte Flair has that experience of NXT champion, she's been Raw Women's Champion, she's been SmackDown Women's Champion, so she's a good voice to have speaking to women at that. But then Becky Lynch obviously came to crash Charlotte's speech, and I thought this was really good. It adds more fuel to the fire. And Becky was just like, don't listen to her, none of you are going to make it. And it was interesting because you had some of the best heels on NXT right behind Becky Lynch. I was like, there was like some of the girls who were in the crowd, I was like, Dakota Kai, I want to see fight Becky Lynch at some point. And it was just like, every single one you were like, oh, I want to see her. Shayna Baszler, I want to see her fight Becky. It was just like all these like dream matches, and there were like all these competitors in the little, like this little. I know I got overexcited over that because it's like that. These two are the present best women wrestlers in the company, and these are the future women's, could be the future of the women's division right there, which is awesome. And just they started brawling, and it was a really awesome segment. Like I keep saying, this is well put together. It's the best match so far going towards Evolution. Evolution is on Sunday, and yet it's the only match I'm actually looking forward to. The last woman standing match between Charlotte and Becky is just exciting. They've built it up since SummerSlam all the way up to this point, and it's just getting better and better. So for me, I've got to give it a 9 out of 10 because this, I hope this is it. After Evolution, they can have a bit of a break between Becky and Charlotte, and then we can continue this probably later on, getting to WrestleMania season again. But for me, really well put. It's just it's the only match I'm really looking forward to Evolution. So just shows you how much Becky and Charlotte are just putting the work in and the effort in just to make this feud stand out. Next up, we had Aiden English taking on Rusev. Now, this really wasn't much of a match, I'm afraid. It started quick and it ended very quick as well. Pretty much, you didn't expect it to happen. It was just like, what? Rusev pretty much waited for Aiden to get into the ring. Aiden started saying stuff about Lana. Then Rusev tried to chase him, ran around, Lana stops him, Rusev gets him in the ring. Pretty much that's simple. It's a shame. It's a shame. This rivalry could have so much potential, but the way it's being booked is a bit of a shame because it's making Rusev obviously the angry ex-friend of Aiden English who feels betrayed by Aiden. And Aiden just comes off looking like a weakling, and very, very much that's the problem here. It's not helping Aiden, and it's not really helping Rusev either. This feud right now, the way it's been booked, the problem is it's not helping either man. It's just making Rusev beat Aiden, which we do expect, but it's just like, alright, well, what's next? Because it can't really go on that much longer because the creative team haven't really added any. If Aiden had won last night, I'd be like, oh, if he cheated to win and did something like used a weapon on Rusev, then got a quick pin and then left, that would be interesting. That would add some more layers to it. But right now, it's just feeling very, very flat as a rivalry. So I'm going to give this a 5 out of 10. Next up, we had Rey Mysterio on Miz TV. Now, this was a good little promo. It's a typical Miz TV kind of segment. You have the babyface, especially Rey Mysterio, who's a legend of SmackDown, coming on. The Miz pretty much ranting. Great promo from Miz as usual. You expect it, let's be honest. And Rey Mysterio having a good promo himself, just went, I thought I was going to be on Truth TV. Miz losing his cool, but the Miz attacking Rey when his guard was down, leading on to a match. And this was the best match of the night. And that's really good. That just shows you how good both caliber of the men are, because it's just showing the veterans at their best. Rey Mysterio and The Miz were able to reverse, and it was just like reversal, reversal, reversal. Both men showing off their in-ring skills. Rey Mysterio just such a great high-fly technician, and The Miz being such a workhorse. No one realises how good The Miz is, and then you put him against someone like Rey Mysterio and you go, The Miz is really, really good. And these men have brilliant chemistry. If The Miz wins the world title at some point, I want Rey Mysterio to be one of his first opponents, because I think it's automatic, their chemistry. I've not seen Rey not have any chemistry yet with anyone. When I saw Rey versus Shinsuke Nakamura, there was chemistry. Rey versus The Miz this week, there's chemistry. Rey can pretty much have a match with anyone and they would automatically have great chemistry. And that's just showing how good Rey Mysterio is. The match was well performed, both men showing off their skills, and it really highlighted the World Cup going into the crown jewel. And it's probably the only thing so far which has made the World Cup, let's be honest, it's not a World Cup. All the combatants in this World Cup are from America, so it's weird that they're calling it a World Cup. But it just made like good build up for the World Cup, and it was the best thing for it right now. So for me, the match itself, it's going to get an 8 out of 10. Next up, we were supposed to have a tag team match between Naomi and Asuka versus Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville. This all started because of social media. Who cares? And before the match started, every woman who's not in, you know, let's be honest, every woman who's not Charlotte and Becky came out to interrupt the match, and they had a big little battle royale, and it was pointless. This again is just poor WWE creative team going, we have no idea what we're doing with the women's division right now. We've got a pay-per-view coming up and all these women are going to be in the battle royale because we still have no idea what we're doing with this pay-per-view. And it's a shame. It's an absolute shame. Asuka came out looking on top, but that really doesn't mean anything in this kind of storyline. And it's like, what are we doing? What are we doing, guys? Come on. Just give the women a chance. They're getting the pay-per-view. Charlotte and Becky are doing their part. They're making their rivalry the best storyline going into Evolution. But you're not doing anything else with any of the other talent going into it. It's like, oh, well, we've got these women, well, we just all chuck them into one segment and there you go. It's kind of an advert for the pay-per-view. It really isn't. You're not doing anything particularly well with this. And it's a shame, because these women are absolutely brilliant talents and you just don't know what you're doing. Here's a smart idea, and I know this is kind of turned into a rant instead of a review, but I'm going to say it. They need a bloody woman writer to actually write the women's division on wrestling. Because guess what, guys? You have no idea what you're doing. Shame, innit? It's a bit of a shame that Becky and Charlotte have been managed to do it so well by themselves. You just don't know how to write any other women, do you? This segment is going in a 3 out of 10. It's a damn shame, and it's a disappointment from WWE that it's the go-home show before Evolution and they still don't have a bloody clue what they're doing. And this moves us on to our main event. And we had Shane O'Mac start this before Randy Orton and Jeff Hardy came out. And he tried to build up the World Cup. And he kept on saying the best in the world, blah blah blah. Talked about all the combatants, and he said, "I believe that someone from the blue brand will bring the cup home to us." And because he kept on saying best in the world, people started chanting CM Punk, and he goes, "I don't think he's taking part," and it just shut the crowd up. Brilliant comeback from Shane. It really, I understand why the crowd is chanting CM Punk, because it was used to be his thing saying I'm the best in the world. But let's be honest, there's a time to be a smartass, and don't start trying to be a smartass when it's Shane O'Mac, who's worked on the mic. He's one of the best mic talkers in the damn company. You just come across like absolute idiots. So yeah, there you go, crowd. I thought you were a bit of an idiot for trying it, and Shane O'Mac shutting you all up. And then it got to the match. Randy Orton versus Jeff Hardy was decent. It was okay. This match felt like it should have started at the start of the rivalry, not when the rivalry actually technically ended after the Hell in the Cell match, which was bloody brutal. But this was good. It was a good match. I enjoyed it. But it just, again, felt out of place. It was like, why is this the main event of SmackDown Live? We could have had AJ Styles and Daniel Bryan versus the Usos. That could have been the main event. Or we could have had Rey Mysterio versus The Miz as the main event. That would have definitely been a good one to have as the main event for the night. But we got this match, and it was decent. The men definitely have chemistry, and that's great. But it was just kind of like, well, if that's the case, why are we doing this? Why are we having this? I know they're both taking part in the World Cup, and they probably will have to face each other at the World Cup. But it just, again, was a bit of a wasted opportunity. Because it's, again, you've got time to highlight the World Cup, which The Miz and Rey Mysterio already did. And they did a better job than this match did. So what was the point of this match? Because are we building up to another Jeff Hardy versus Randy Orton feud? I doubt it. I don't see that's going to be the case. So what was the point in this? It just doesn't work too well for WWE Creative. So for me, the match itself is going to get a 6 out of 10. It was entertaining, but again, there's no content to it. So it's kind of like, well, we've seen this rivalry just recently. It's just ended. Do we really need to have this kind of match now, which feels like a beginning type of match for a rivalry? So there you go, guys. And there you go. That was SmackDown Live for this week. What did I think? I thought it was okay. It wasn't anything special. The AJ Styles and Daniel Bryan feud is starting to build up, which is great. Definitely loving Cesaro, Sheamus and the Big Show together. I think that's awesome. And Rey Mysterio and The Miz just show exactly why they're veterans in this business. These guys have brilliant chemistry, and I want to see more of this. So what was your favourite part of SmackDown Live this week, guys? Leave it in the comments. If you want to know what the score for the show was, it's going to get a 7 out of 10. It's fine. It's worth watching. If you want to follow us on Twitter, it's at SmackTalk YouTube. If you want to follow me on Twitter, it's at Boise88. And I'll see you guys next time on Smack Talk Wrestling Reviews.